Owning an Airbnb has its benefits as well as a fair share of challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted many vacation rental businesses, and hosts may now be wondering, is owning an Airbnb still profitable in 2022? Well, in this video, we'll answer exactly that. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, it's completely free, and we post videos every week on topics just like this one, so definitely keep watching. Now first, you must understand that the returns you get when owning an Airbnb can be rewarding, but it also comes with a certain amount of risk. Now, in the post-pandemic world, people tend to be even more careful before starting their career as a vacation rental host. However, as travel is picking up, Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky is sure that the company will need millions of new hosts to meet the increasing demand for short-term rentals. In any case, before taking the plunge and investing in a vacation rental property, it's important to weigh the pros and cons that come with it. Let's dive in and explore the benefits and challenges of owning an Airbnb home. Is owning an Airbnb still profitable? On average, before the COVID-19 pandemic, Airbnb hosts used to earn around $924 per month from hosting and between $10,000 and $12,000 per year in total. It's clear to see that owning an Airbnb investment property can indeed be profitable with consistency, hard work, and dedication. If you want to be a host or a property manager, you shouldn't expect to start generating revenue instantly. It takes time to market your rental to attract guests, receive reservations, and generate revenue. It's no doubt the COVID-19 pandemic has influenced short-term rental profits. In some locations, vacation rental businesses had to shut down and cease operations. In other places, businesses managed to survive and even thrive due to the changing travel habits of guests. What are the benefits of owning an Airbnb over traditional renting? Traditional renting refers to buying a property to rent it out for a longer, fixed period, usually 6 or 12 months, to a single tenant or a group of tenants. In contrast, short-term renting is the practice of buying a property and renting it out to guests rather than tenants for a much shorter period, typically several days up to 4 weeks. Both Airbnb and traditional renting have their pros and cons. Although traditional renting offers a more consistent flow of income, owning an Airbnb has unique benefits that regular leasing does not. The first would be a greater revenue potential than traditional leasing. A benefit of owning Airbnb properties is earning more rental income compared to regular leasing. While traditional rental properties work with fixed pricing, Airbnb hosts are able to adjust their pricing when they see fit. It's an acceptable norm, and guests are willing to pay more to book Airbnb rentals, allowing hosts to earn more than landlords. Also, with Airbnb, you have the potential for offering additional services. In traditional renting, a tenant occupies a property and has little contact with their landlord, leaving minimal opportunity for the latter to earn any additional revenue outside the rent. However, for hosts, owning an Airbnb rental property provides the potential for earning extra income by offering additional services. These services can include breakfast, transportation, laundry services, and offering Airbnb experiences to guests. This can help boost your income and can be reinvested into the business. One may argue that what makes Airbnb so great is that there is no long-term commitment with tenants. With traditional renting, landlords generally lease out their properties to the same tenant or tenants for 6 months to a year. With vacation rental hosting, hosts generally see a turnover of several guests a month, unless they offer a long-term rental. Having a greater guest turnover creates a more diverse portfolio of guests that you can host at your property. Hosting a greater variety of guests also allows you to meet and interact with a variety of people from all walks of life around the world. Another great thing to consider is that you have more control over your property with an Airbnb vacation unit. Owning an Airbnb rental allows you more control over your property compared to traditional renting. Having a greater guest turnover means you can conduct more regular inspections of the property and pick up on potential problems sooner than later. You can also do maintenance work more frequently than if you had a long-term tenant occupying the property. Another benefit of owning a vacation rental is that you're more free to adjust and increase your prices, giving you greater control over your pricing policy. This is in contrast to traditional renting, where you're often locked into a set price for 6 to 12 months or longer. You also have the option to stay at your property yourself by blocking several nights in your calendar. Now let's discuss. What are the challenges that come with an Airbnb rental property? First, the market is very competitive. The short-term rental market is extremely competitive. As a host or property manager, you will need to work hard consistently to keep your business visible and keep reaching your target audience. You will also need to keep an eye on what your competitors are doing and monitor what marketing strategies they are implementing. Doing this will ensure you don't get left behind by the competition. Another minor setback is that you will need to follow Airbnb regulations in your area. Different cities and zones have unique Airbnb regulations and restrictions imposed on them. Depending on where your Airbnb property is located, you will have to adhere to the regulations relative to the city, zone, or neighborhood. These regulations can possibly get very strict and can limit how often you are allowed to host guests and how many guests you may host at a time. You must also realize that managing the property will require time and effort. Managing a vacation rental takes a lot of time, and you will need to be capable of juggling several different tasks at once. It's also an ongoing process that requires your full attention. Make sure you are willing and able to handle a consistent inflow of work that you will have to put in to keep the property up and running. Unlike traditional rental units, it may take time before your effort starts to pay off. It's highly unlikely that you will see a return in revenue instantly. In order to see results, you will have to consistently work hard and refine your management strategies where they might need tweaking. On average, it can take between 1 to 3 years for a business to become profitable. This is, of course, an estimate, but keep in mind that success does take time. Another pitfall I see all the time with Airbnb hosts is that at times you will have to deal with difficult guests and tenants. An unfortunate challenge that you may have to face as a host is dealing with difficult guests. Guests may make complicated requests or throw an unauthorized party at your rental. On top of that, they can also break or damage things in your property by accident or on purpose. Thankfully, difficult guests tend to remain in the minority, and you can prevent them from booking with you by charging a security deposit. I'm going to explain in more detail how to make this process easier, but do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up so it can be spread to more people interested in this topic. How to start an Airbnb business without owning an Airbnb property. Are you interested in running your own Airbnb business but you don't know or have the means to purchase real estate? Never fear, because you don't necessarily have to own a property to do so. Take a look at some of the most popular ways of how to start an Airbnb business without owning a house. Number 1. Make money with Airbnb rental arbitrage. One of the most popular ways to start an Airbnb business without owning any property is with Airbnb rental arbitrage. Vacation rental arbitrage is the practice of renting a property to sublet them to guests. Keep in mind that for this to be successful, you will need to charge more than what you pay as the registered tenant. You will also need to have written permission from your landlord that you're allowed to sublet their property. If the property is in a housing complex, you may need to get permission from the related homeowners association to sublet an Airbnb rental. Number 2. Become an Airbnb property manager. Becoming a property manager is another means of starting your Airbnb business. It's not an easy task to become a property manager, and you will need to go through a registered course in order to become certified. Make sure you're willing and able to put in the time and effort before committing to a property management course. You can also offer your services as an amateur property manager. However, you will not be able to earn as much, and it may be more difficult convincing clients to trust you with their properties. Number 3. Start an Airbnb consultation business. Another way is to start your own Airbnb consultation business. It's a perfect way to use your skills and experience and market them into the rental industry. For example, if you come from the marketing background, you could offer specialized services to help hosts improve their Airbnb marketing results. Knowing what your unique selling point is will help you to attract the type of clients you want to work with. Just let me know in the comments if you've recently started or plan to start hosting a property on Airbnb this year, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video. But to put things in a better perspective, watch this video next where I'll discuss step by step how to start your very own Airbnb rental business without owning any property. I'll see you in the next one.